Hey guys, I don't know where I'm going with this. This is like the fourth time I'm trying to film this video, and the more I attempt to film it, the more I So every time I attempt to film this video, the more frustrated I get and the harder it is to film it. So I'm just gonna go. We're gonna shoot. We're gonna go for it. So I want to do a TTC update and rewind. Before I say anything else, I apologize for the way that I look. I took a shower, my hair is air drying, then I decided to sit down and watch the most recent episode of Grey's Anatomy, and I spent the last 40 minutes crying. From the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, cried like a little baby. You didn't want to see that. It was bad. So that's why I have all these, the flushed cheeks and the bloodshot eyes. So I have, for the past few days, been filming my OPKs, my digital and the line progression. And I want to put together a video just showing those, because I feel like if I sit here and talk about, do my little TTC update and I go on and on and on, and then I insert the clips of the line progression and the digital test over the past 6 days, it's just going to be too long of a video. So I will do a quick TTC update and put it out for you now, and then I will go ahead and edit and put together all of the OPKs, like the live OPKs for you. This cycle I am using the Clear Blue Advanced Digital Ovulation Test. And more than likely you're watching this because you follow me, and you would know that last cycle I used these for the very first time. This is cycle 29 for me, and last cycle was the very first cycle that I ever used the digital OPKs. I would always use line progression. So I did not have any luck with the digital tests. Very frustrating for me, and I think it's because I went into it with the attitude of, I know everything there is to know about OPKs, and these are not going to get the best of me, and that was the wrong attitude to go in with it. I should have went into it, humbly, and read the directions and did it the way that they wanted me to do it, because I thought I could just use them like I used the strep tests, and that is not the case. I decided that this cycle, not only would I continue to use the digital test, but I would use a strip or line progression test with my digital test so that we can see the two of them side by side, seeing how close they were to each other if I get positive digital with a positive strip, and vice versa, just to see how they compared. And then that way also to kind of save my butt if I was not successful with the digital test again and not get a peak for fertility solid phase, then I would have my line progression test as a backup. So I typically buy the ovulation tests from Dollar Tree. They're individually packaged, one in a package, $1 a piece, and that's what I go with. But my Dollar Tree and all the Dollar Trees within like a 50-mile radius have not been stocking the pregnancy tests or the OPKs. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the plant burned down or if the cargo ship, went into the Bermuda Triangle and it's nowhere to be found. I do not know what is going on. I could probably call the company. That's probably a good idea. Anyway, I had to settle for buying these, which my camera won't focus, so I'll just tell you what they are. They're the Daily Ovulation Predictor strips, and essentially they are the same thing as like the Wanfos or the Answer strips. This is like the generic of the Answer test strips that you buy in the 20 pack. So this is 20 strips in one tube. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I hate these. Not because they're not a good test, because you get them in this sealed tube and it says, very specifically, do not use 30 days after opening. So once you open this, you have 30 days and then they're expired and they're no good. And trust me, I've tried them after the 30 days. They are no good. So I don't need 20 of these every cycle. I have gotten my cycle down close enough and have learned my body, you know, enough that I don't need 20 strips every cycle. So if you have like a 30 or 40 day cycle and you only use 5 or 6 strips, these are going to be expired by the time you get to your next cycle. Okay, moving on. So I've got these line progression tests and I've got the digital tests. And I started on the day, not these told me to start, but the day that the digital told me to start. I typically always start on cycle day 10 and test until I get a peak. And the clear blue test, based on the cycle links that I've had the past few months, wants me to start using them on cycle day 7. So cycle day 7, I started using both tests, and you'll see in the video, I'm gonna label each clip by the cycle day so that you can see as they progress. So this cycle, I had a little bit more symptoms than last cycle, and I really think that we've kind of pinpointed baby dancing around my OPKs. And I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll just kind of tell you what kind of happened. I started on cycle day 7. Today is cycle day 11. And I don't make fun of this. This is so funny. But when I get like really like down and into tracking and I'm like, you're gonna get pregnant this time, Ashley. Like, no screwing around. No taking breaks. This is the time. So when I get serious, I do a little paper chart. And I tape my strip OPKs and I date them. And because typically what I do is the first couple usually don't have a line. When I get a line and it's not a positive, then I start testing twice a day. So it's just kind of like I can track the progression over the days. So I don't know what my camera is going to do, if it's actually going to focus. But cycle day 7, barely a line, barely a line. And then you get down to today, and look at that. So it worked the way that I wanted it to work. I did my digitals every day with my line progression test, and I got a low fertility blank circle, low fertility, low fertility, low fertility. And I kept thinking, yeah, this is because it's so early in my cycle. Why would I be ovulating on cycle day 9 and 10? Like, you know? Yesterday, like, obvious, bluntly negative line test, and I got a blank circle, low fertility. So I was expecting that today I would have a blinky face, or tomorrow a blinky face, and a blinky face for a couple of days, and then I get my peak, but no. Negative yesterday, low fertility, then bam. Today, I take my test and it's super duper positive and no blinky face, just a solid face. Which at first was like, oh yeah, awesome, you know, solid smiley face, I'm so excited. And it matched up with, and I took another one like an hour later just to kind of see that, you know, it wasn't playing tricks on me. And this one's like, you know, just as, or maybe a little bit more positive than the one that I have taped on the paper. So super exciting. So that about sums it up. I got my positive on my digital and my line progression. So I'm gonna count tomorrow as just 1 DPO and go from there, and then 9 DPO I will start testing and you guys will see that. So stay tuned. And if I have any symptoms or anything new happens between now and testing, I will definitely keep you guys updated.